This is Torah in 7, a parsha podcast by Lubavitch International where we share some of the narrative and some of the nuance in the weekly Torah reading. I'm your host, Baila Olidort, and whether you're prepping for Shabbos, commuting to work, or just looking for a meaningful few minutes, please join me here. Each week, we'll explore the Torah portion with a quick summary, and then we'll peel away some layers and uncover its personal relevance. I'll aim to do this under 7 minutes, so I hope you'll stay with me. I named this episode Pondering Patience because as I was reading through the parsha, the theme of patience kept coming up for me. So as we dive in, I want to ask you to keep this question in mind. What does it mean to wait for something? To sit something out when you don't know the outcome? And how do we get better at it? Let's begin. The parsha opens with Yaakov's dramatic flight from home to escape his brother Esav's murderous rage. He has the famous ladder dream at Beit El. He arrives in Haran to his uncle Lavan, where he meets and falls in love with Lavan's daughter Rachel, and promises to work for 7 years to marry her. We read about Lavan's deception, swapping Rachel for Leah under the marriage canopy, and Yaakov's commitment to work another 7 years for Rachel. Then there's Rachel's infertility, Yaakov's marriage to his wife's handmaids, the birth of 11 sons and 1 daughter, the naming stories, the tensions between the wives, Yaakov's complex dealings with Lavan over wages and flocks, his strategic breeding program with sheep and goats, and finally his secret departure with his family. Standing at the center of all these disparate plot lines, navigating the deceit, the rivalries, and the schemes with striking patience and quiet equilibrium is our protagonist, Yaakov. But we'd be mistaken to think his patience is passive. It's active, it's strategic, almost a form of martial art. Deceived on his wedding night, he doesn't abandon the project, but works another 7 years for the woman he loves. Cheated by Lavan over wages, he doesn't flee in bitterness, but stays, strategizes, and builds his own wealth through ingenuity and perseverance. Yaakov bends rather than breaks. He absorbs the impact of each curveball and keeps moving forward through a slow maturation process. We see the impulsive young man who grabbed his brother's heel transform into someone who has learned to wait, to negotiate difficulties, to let time do its work. His patience is his strength. I want to go beneath the surface of Yaakov's patience. Where does it come from? Well, Yaakov is the son of Yitzchak and the grandson of Avraham. Avraham is the embodiment of expansiveness. In Hasidic terminology, he represents the divine attribute of chesed, kindness. Yitzchak, on the other hand, was defined by his restraint. In Hasidic terms, that's the attribute of gvura, or discipline. And Yaakov, he stands at the midpoint, weaving Abraham's expansiveness with Yitzchak's restraint into a beautiful, seamless synthesis. In Yaakov, love and discipline join, forming tiferet, harmony, balance, symmetry, the definition of beauty. This inner harmony manifests as patience in daily life. But the thing about patience is that it sounds simple until we really need it. Because patience is fundamentally about our relationship with time, the ability to tolerate delay, difficulty, or discomfort without becoming agitated or giving up. This is true whether we're talking about the immediate physical patience of waiting in line or sitting in traffic, or the deeper patience required for meaningful endeavors, raising a child, learning a skill, or building a business. It's especially difficult today in our modern world, which seems designed to erode patience, with everything optimized for speed and instant gratification. But here's the truth. The most worthwhile things in life still operate on their own timeline. Children can't be rushed into maturity. A garden grows at its own pace. Trust develops gradually. With patience, we understand more deeply and make better decisions. Impatience, on the other hand, tends to generate its own problems, rushed mistakes, damaged relationships, and abandoned projects that could have succeeded. And sometimes, patience can mean the difference between life and death. This was true for Avinatan Or, a recently released hostage. Avinatan was kept deep underground in a Hamas tunnel in total isolation for more than 2 years. Chained to a cage, he saw no daylight and had no contact with the world outside. For 738 days, alone in the dark, he practiced patience. Every day I told myself, he said, just one more day. Don't think further. Patience was my lifeline. Fortunately, most of us can practice patience in the sunlight. For someone like me who loves cooking, patience is critical in the kitchen. Take the marinating process. The flavors need time to penetrate, to transform the texture, to work their way into every fiber. The magic happens in the waiting, in the slow saturation that occurs when ingredients sit together over time. The longer you let the ingredients sit, the richer and more complex the outcome. And as you probably know, if you've ever pulled something out of the marinade because you were hungry, you got a lesser version of what could have been. I've seen this again and again when I rush something, not only in the kitchen, but in my work and in my relationships. On the surface, it may look good, but the inside remains unchanged. I get surface-level results instead of the transformation that I'm looking for. So what does it mean to truly wait for something? It means trusting the marinade. It means believing that time itself is doing the essential work that cannot be rushed. Yaakov knew this. Avinatan Or discovered it in darkness. And we practice it every time we choose patience over speed, depth over surface, transformation over quick fixes. We have the opportunity to experience patience every week for 25 hours in the harmony of Shabbos, when we slow down and let things be. That's my takeaway from Parshat Vayetzei. Shabbat Shalom.